In a quiet town where the ancient oak trees leaned in conspiratorial whispers, a centuries-old secret quietly rumbled beneath a veneer of normalcy. The day began under a gloomy sky as an unexpected letter arrived, its creased paper exuding the weight of mysteries long buried. The letter, written in an elegant yet strangely uneven script, was a final note from a distant relative whose passing had awakened a dormant legacy. The inheritance, an immense estate whispered about in hushed conversations behind closed doors, beckoned with promises of both riches and redemption. Yet, behind every promise was a delicate curtain masking a labyrinth of deception, psychological twists, and a past marred by the sins of silver tongues and dark deeds. The inheritor, who had always considered themselves an outsider to the family lore, now found themselves stepping into a realm where every detail of the old mansion spoke of secrets and sorrow. The building, wrapped in layers of history, bled stories through its creaking floorboards and the shiver-inducing draft that seeped through time-worn cracks. Each shadow that danced in the corners of vast, echoing halls seemed to murmur warnings of the truths that lay hidden beneath the polished veneer of inherited wealth. Every facet of the estate, the grand library with its shelves of dusty volumes, the portrait gallery displaying foreboding visages of long-departed kin, and the labyrinthine corridors lined with relics of past glories, became a testimony to the conflicting nature of legacy. Under the thick layer of dust and neglect lay not just artifacts, but the accumulated weight of lies that had, over time, shaped the destiny of a family. This was an inheritance not of pure golden fortune, but one interwoven with the venom of secrets that had slowly corroded the moral foundation of generations gone by. One afternoon, while the subdued light of winter filtered through the arched windows, the inheritors slowly began to trace their fingertips along the spines of journals left behind by ancestors. Within these pages, a lifetime of carefully crafted deceptions was recorded with the precision of a master storyteller. Every entry hinted at alliances formed behind closed doors, covert transactions, and promises broken with the stealth of a thief in the night. The once revered name of the family was tarnished with revelations of forbidden pacts and unspoken betrayals. Each revealed nuance transformed the thrill of inheritance into an uneasy burden, while the estate itself seemed to pulse with a dark, almost sentient energy. As the days folded into nights, the mansion began to reveal its hidden corners. In a secluded study behind a tall, arched bookshelf, a collection of letters bound with a faded red ribbon lay forgotten. The letters, written by relatives long past, told the story of how an unsteady alliance between survival and treachery had led to the foundation of the family fortune. Every document resonated with the voice of desperation, a desperate desire to preserve the legacy at any cost. It was in these moments, beneath the flicker of a solitary candle's glow, that the inheritor realized that the family's history was not merely a series of events, but a sprawling web of intertwined lives, each thread soaked in both truth and the bitter residue of lies. Amidst this unfolding narrative, the cryptic final letter emerged as both a blessing and a bane. The note, sealed with wax and a mysterious insignia, carried a single admonition: the truth was hidden away in the very heart of the family estate. The inheritor, torn between curiosity and dread, embarked on a solitary journey through shadowed hallways and forgotten passageways. In each creaking step, there lay the echo of time passing, a haunting reminder that some secrets are never meant to be unearthed. The mansion became a living entity, its walls absorbing every secret and every sigh of regret. Every room was a silent archive of joy turned sorrow, accurately preserving the fragility of trust shattered by ambition and greed. As the weeks melded seamlessly into a slow, inexorable unraveling of the estate's mysteries, every relic and every whisper from the past coalesced into a narrative of cruelty and cunning. The origin of the family fortune was, it turned out, not born of honest toil, but rather meticulously curated deceit. The inheritor discovered faded ledgers in a hidden compartment beneath a creaking floorboard, ledgers listing transactions, obscure names, and unsettling sums. These entries hinted at deals forged in the darkness, a clandestine exchange of favors and fortunes where loyalty was a currency exchanged for survival. The once revered name of the family had been constructed upon a foundation of lies, with each family member having played their part in a sordid saga that stretched across decades. Within the labyrinth of records and cryptic journal entries, there emerged a series of events meticulously orchestrated by a cunning mastermind. Every hidden clause in the faded legal documents, every ambiguous signature on a stack of ill-maintained paperwork, all converged in a realization that the family had been locked in an endless cycle of betrayal. Generations had whispered conspiracy and collusion, a deteriorating narrative in which the silver tongues of family elders had seduced trust and manipulated legacies in the most heartless of ways. This revelation was equally compelling and repulsive, a delicate reminder that true wealth may well come at the cost of one's integrity and honor. The mansion, once a symbol of opulence and grandeur, now became a repository of secrets that weighed as heavily as a stone. The mansion itself appeared to mourn with every creak and every sigh of the wind, as if it lamented the moral decay that had infected its walls. In the quiet solitude of the estate, the inheritor's mind kept oscillating between disbelief and a morbid fascination. Every shadow cast by the setting sun was a reminder of the thin line between truth and deception, a line so subtle it could have been drawn with the mere press of a finger. The estate, a former bastion of familial pride, was revealed as a mausoleum of memories and misdeeds, each corner serving as an archive of decisions made in the pursuit of an elusive dream. In the midst of such overwhelming darkness, the final twist slowly clawed its way into light. The cryptic instructions in the final letter suggested that a hidden chamber, obscured by both time and neglect, would yield the ultimate revelation. With trembling anticipation, the inheritor discovered a secret door carved intricately into the wood paneling of an unused wing. The door, discovered behind a heavy velvet curtain in a room dominated by somber antiques, was revealed only through the gentle logic of careful observation. The subtle hum of recognition that accompanied the discovery sent shivers cascading down the spine. It was here, behind the door of shadows, that the inheritor unearthed a vault of memories, a silent archive of documents, relics, and tokens of betrayal that defined the true nature of the family legacy. Inside this chamber lay the tangible evidence of manipulation, sealed files stained with the fingerprints of both greed and despair, photographs capturing moments of furtive meetings, and personal mementos that belied the cold, calculating essence of the founders. Every item was a syllable in the volatile language of deception, a language the family had once spoken fluently but now struggled to erase from memory. The chamber's atmosphere was rife with the heaviness of long-forgotten secrets, each object a memoir in its own right. It was here that the inheritor came to understand that the legacy bestowed upon them was not one of unadulterated luxury, but rather a fragile house of cards, built on fictions and half-truths that could crumble with the slightest provocation. In that silent, suffocating space, the inheritor also confronted the profound psychological cost of inheriting such a legacy. Each revelation was accompanied by an inner dialogue of despair, an understanding that true inheritance might often come with a price too steep to pay. The weight of knowledge, dark and unyielding, pressed upon the soul in ways that no monetary value could ever compensate. Each relic became a mirror to a life defined by imitation rather than authenticity, a life where each act of betrayal left deep, unhealable scars. It was a sobering moment of reckoning. The truth, hidden behind layers of artifice and deceit, was both a liberation and a curse. Walking slowly back through the mansion's grand halls, in the waning hours of a bitter autumn day, the inheritor paused before an ornate mirror hanging in the corridor. The reflection, dimly lit by the fading light, appeared as an echo of the person once known, a person oblivious to the intricate web of lies that now bound the family fate. In that silent communion with the past, the inheritor realized that to embrace the truth would mean to accept a legacy not of constant triumph, but of continual internal strife. Every step taken in the corridors of the mansion was now a step into a mosaic of memories both grand and grotesque, moments of exalted glory interspersed with passages of anguished deceit. A transformation was taking shape. The inheritor, burdened by the revelations of a corrupt ancestry, came to a crossroads, whether to preserve the legacy as a testament to ambition gone awry or to destroy the fragile illusion that had held the family together for so long. The mansion, with its secrets embedded in every brick and every fabric of its being, resonated with an eerie urgency, a silent plea to break free of the cycle of lies that had defined its lineage. To confront these shadows was to confront the core of one's identity, challenging the notion that truth alone could pave the path to redemption. It was a precarious balance between the comfort of inherited wealth and the harsh, unyielding nature of unmasked truth. The final hours of the day blended into an enigmatic twilight as the inheritor made the choice. Amid the low whisper of the wind and the solemn pulse of an ancient clock, they resolved to let the secrets speak for themselves, rather than bury them once again under the weight of silence. Every piece of evidence, every contraband document, and every personal token preserved in the hidden chamber was laid bare, not as a celebration of past transgressions, but as an irreversible acknowledgement of the complexity of legacy. There was an acceptance that greatness and sin, ambition and treachery, were irrevocably intertwined. The estate, in its silent majesty, had become a canvas upon which the stark truths of human nature were illustrated in intricate detail. Stepping out into the cool embrace of night, the inheritor gazed back at the towering silhouette of the mansion, now illuminated softly by the moon's pale glow. The estate's imposing presence was a constant reminder that darkness and light, truth and lie, danced together through time. The legacy had been inherited, but so had its burdens, its memories, and its inescapable truths. The night air was heavy with the weight of history, as if every star overhead knew the secrets that lingered in the shadows below. It was in that moment of quiet reflection that the inheritor truly comprehended the final twist, that to own such a legacy was to embrace the duality of one's existence, a perpetual struggle between the seductive allure of inherited wealth and the unrelenting scrutiny of truth. Through the corridors of time, the mansion remained a silent witness to the relentless pursuit of self-understanding. The journey had evolved into more than an exploration of material inheritance. It became an odyssey into the depths of human frailty, of the inexorable pull of family bonds, and of the relentless march of consequences that every action, however concealed, eventually summons. Each step taken in the murky passageways of memory had not only unearthed the past but also unraveled the layers of the innermost self. In the crucible of inherited lies, the inheritor's soul was both shattered and forged anew, a testimony to the complexity of choices and the inescapable reality that truth, no matter how obscure, ultimately defines one's destiny. Now, as the night deepened and the wind sighed through ancient stone, the inheritor's inner world resonated with a profound understanding of what it means to possess a legacy tarnished by deceit yet enriched by the raw authenticity of its truth. The mansion, long a monument to both splendor and sorrow, stood as an enduring reminder that every secret unveiled carried with it an irrevocable change, a metamorphosis of the self that cannot be undone. In their silent vigil beneath the watchful eyes of time, the inheritor recognized that the shadows themselves were not merely embodiments of fear, but reflections of the complex tapestry of human emotions. Vulnerability, resilience, and a desire for redemption. The legacy, built meticulously on the brittle foundations of both ambition and treachery, had now been fully inherited. Every lie, every silent betrayal, stamped into the very fibers of the estate. And in that inheritance, there lay an indispensable truth, that the past, no matter how deeply concealed, always asserts its presence with unyielding persistence. The inheritor, standing alone under the cosmic spectacle of the midnight sky, accepted the paradox that while secrets may be buried for a time, they are destined to emerge and remind us of the fragile, intertwined nature of our collective history. The narrative of a once revered lineage, marred by whispers of deceit, had transformed into an enduring saga of resilience, calling upon each new generation to face the truths that lie buried within the inherited lie. In the final analysis, the story of this sprawling estate and its dark, intricate history was not merely a tale of inherited wealth, but a meditation on the human condition. It was a narrative that spanned the corridors of time, echoing lessons of moral ambiguity and the eternal struggle between redemption and damnation. Every crevice of the mansion, every hidden letter, and every echoing memory was a reminder that while truth might be obscured by layers of artifice, it is never entirely lost. Instead, it simmers beneath the surface, waiting for the moment when courage and resolve converge, allowing the shadows to finally yield their long-kept secrets. As the stars flickered in the endless expanse above, the inheritor took one last, lingering look at the estate that had once promised untold riches but had instead delivered a legacy of lessons carved in sorrow and sacrifice. With one final act of quiet determination, the inheritor stepped away from the mansion, not in defeat but in quiet acceptance, a soul forever changed by the realization that to confront the past is to embark on a journey toward a more honest future. The legacy, laden with both grim secrets and the glimmer of redemption, would continue to shape the lives of those brave enough to search for the truth behind every inherited lie, even as the night carried these revelations onward into the uncharted territory of tomorrow. In this tale of silent revelations and carefully concealed truths, the mansion and its inhabitants emerged as complex figures in a drama that defied simple categorization. Bound by a history that intertwined hope with despair, ambition with remorse, the story left an indelible imprint on the hearts of those who dared to listen. It was an eternal reminder that the truth, even when wrapped in the guise of a lie, ultimately claims its place in the narrative of our lives. And so, under the watchful eyes of countless generations past, the inheritor embraced their role as both keeper and reckoner of the forgotten truths. A solitary wanderer who had seen the darkness that lay beneath a glittering facade, and who now carried the heavy, beautiful burden of an inheritance that was at once a lie and the only truth left to hold.